Join Tina and I in episode 18 for a late fall hike to Bourgeau Lake.
Hey, is Dave there? Alright, it's almost Halloween. The Jays won last night, yay! We're looking out at the mountains, a beautiful sunny day today. It's a bit brisk out, and we're going to go and look at a trail that I've been interested in for a while. It's Mount Bourgeau. I think it's Bourgeau is how you say it. We're going to go up to the lake today and check out the scramble. I don't believe we'll scramble today. And what we're going to do is a bit of a mountain cookout. But look at the day we've got here. It is beautiful and sunny. There's a little bit of snow on the mountaintops, and I expect it to be a beautiful hike all the way into the lake.
Now on the way out, we didn't suspect that it was going to be snowy. As you can see, here's Mount Yamnuska and also Highway 1 going through to Banff. And it doesn't look like too much snow up high, but we were about to discover that there was an accumulation when we got to the top.
Well, here we are at the trailhead. Got to get our gear on. Looks a little bit icy today. We did bring our spikes, our micro spikes, to do some hiking if it gets slippery on the trail, but I hope it'll be fairly clear. And of course, last chance for a civilized pee. So I think I'm going to take advantage of that. And of course, at every trailhead, you get a little map to help you out. So here's where we're headed today. We're not going all the way up to the summit, but we're going most of the way to the lake. Well, it looks like Cookie's ready to go. And it looks like they've got a pretty interesting animal gate up here. And it's great. In the last, I'd say, a decade or so, they've really concentrated on keeping the animals off the highway. So this is, of course, right off of the Trans-Canada. So we've got this animal gate to keep the animals on one side and the cars on the other, which is amazing. So Cookie is on squirrel hunt. She's already treated a couple squirrels. And we're trying a new leash setup with her so that she's on leash but has a bit of room to roam. We had one little whoops today. My daughter loaned out the bear spray. So we're sticking together. But I figure with Tina here, my odds of getting attacked by a bear gone down by 50%. On the other hand, I've seen her run away from a rather excitable bull in Hawaii, and I don't stand a chance if a bear comes and she starts to haul ass. Note to self, trip Tina before she gets a lead on you. Here's our first wildlife encounter. Growths of some type. I will look them up and put the name on for you. They might be spruce. I'm only about 5 feet from them. So we're making good headway. We're up above the switchbacks. A little bit of fresh snow on the ground. There's a couple of climbers ahead of us. They started early, obviously. They might be going all the way. But beautiful. We're hopefully going to break out into sunshine. And we'll take a break in a sunny patch up on the flat part here. So, good start. Wow, check out the view here. This is just on one of the corners. You can hear the water below me. Pretty remarkable. And Tina brought her fancy camera, which I refuse to carry now because it weighs so much. And she is getting some great pictures, which we'll share. How heavy is your camera, Tina?
Maybe 5 pounds.
The answer is too heavy. That's the answer. Too heavy. All right, we're at our first break point. We're going to sit on the bridge and have a granola bar, some water, adjust our gear. I only had one wipe out. Tina was clean on that hike up, but it is slippery. So this kind of snow, probably advisable to have spikes. We do have them with us, and we'll debate about that on the bridge, see if we need them for the last bit. We're probably a little ways over half.
Did you find it?
So, a couple of lessons or rules for Dave's Book of Rules. One, secure your gear properly. This wasn't attached through the wrap hole, so it fell out. But the more important rule is, and I learned this on a plane to Houston, you wouldn't think you could lose your passport on a secure plane on a way to Houston, but I did. And that is, if you think something's wrong, stop and check. I had this on the back of my pack. I fell down, I had a wipeout, and I thought in the back of my brain that I should have Tina just look at my pack and make sure everything was secure. I didn't. We kept going, and I had to double back and grab this because it fell out. Broke out into this clearly avalanche zone. Look at all these small trees. But what's really nice is look at it. It's gorgeous. You can see where it slid all the way down and just cleared out all the trees, and now they're regrowing. Pretty area. AT?
Yeah, there's a frozen waterfall up there. Little.
Oh yeah. I'll try to shoot it. Micro spikes. Cookie just about pulled Tina down this hill, so we are about a kilometer and a bit from Bourgeot Lake, but the snow is getting thicker and the terrain's getting slipperier, so here we go. Micro spikes is the answer. Well, it just keeps getting steep at the top here, but I know it will flatten out. Just when you think you're getting close, you look at your map and realize, oh, it's another half an hour. The snow's getting heavier. We've got our spikes on, that's working, but I'm starting to tire out. This is longer than I had anticipated for a nice late fall hike, but we're going to keep pushing and get there. Hooray, the last flat bit into the lake in the cirque. None too soon, my legs are a little cooked. Took us about 3.5 hours. That last steep bit, Tina, whew, that took it out of me a little bit. Oh, but I think we're here, which is good. Maybe a half kilometer, but it looks pretty flat. Well, just to make it challenging, there's a little more snow on what's supposed to be the easy bit. And I don't know who's ahead of us on the trail, but I guess they're going all the way to the top today. They've got my admiration. They started out ahead of us probably early. That's a long way to go. And with the snow to complicate it, I would think it's quite difficult. Well, we made it. Well done, Tina. Cookie. The lake is frozen. And I was going to do something a little more authentic and cook over a fire, but with the temperature being like it is, I think we have to hustle. So it'll be a jet boil fry of moose meat and a sandwich and some tea. And I'll get that going right away, but gorgeous spot. Decided we were going to cook something up. Get it warm here for you. But it's going to be a protein bar. Tina, you ready for a nice, well-cooked protein bar?
Sure.
There you go. Fire roasted. So we're getting ready to go down. Cookie's chasing birds, having a great time. I'll tell you, I'm really impressed with these little jet boils. It all folds up inside it, so and I would have had to challenge my survival skills to get a little fire going up here today for sure. But you can see the wind's blowing. It's too cold to stick around, and yet this thing could boil tea in about 2 minutes up here. So impressive. I'm going to put it all away, and we're going to work our way down. The new way for Tina to come down the hill. Come on, Cookie. Come, girl. Yeah, there you go. Come on. Cookie, come. Come on. She was pulling Tina down the hill there when she had to slip. So it is slippery out here. I can't imagine the three gals without spikes ahead of us getting down some of this, but they seem to be navigating it well. We both had a wipeout today now. When you find natural things like this, you start thinking, man, you could build a winter shelter in here easy. It's actually, I can feel it's warm in here compared to walking on the trail. My feet are actually warming up once you get out of the snow and tucked away. This could be a neat natural shelter. I might have to look for something like this in one of the other areas I go to and do a winter overnight video. Well, we're stopping on the bridge again for a break. Just looking at all the debris that blows down some of these creeks when they flow hard in the spring and take with them trees and deadfall and all this other stuff. It makes for a really pretty sight. Well, we're getting down out of the snow, down to the switchbacks before the parking lot. Cookie's on the squirrel alert again here. You can see her nose up. She's looking at her stuff. Oh, and this is a log that we had to step around. But look at even the mosses. Looking super green down here. It's beautiful. And we're the only car left. There's only a couple groups that went up today, and we're the last to get out. One of the few groups crazy enough to go up that hike. So pretty, better in the summer.
This is one of Tina's photos from that viewpoint. And as you can see, there's literally no snow at our altitude on the other side. And this is something that I learned on that hike, is that, late in the season, you stay to southern exposures. While I was disappointed we couldn't do the outdoor cooking experiment, we still ate well at the end of the day.
So here we go. We're cooking up the moose that we were supposed to do up on the lakeside. I've got a couple of iron skillets. I've got some onion and mushroom, which is already pre-cooked. I'm just warming it. And I've got the moose just about done here. I'm going to cut it all up and then I'll put it on the buns and we'll probably toast it all. So I'll give you another little snapshot of what it's going to look like when it's all done. All right, so what we're going to do is I'm going to trim up. This is all moose stew meat. And because it's stew meat, I usually like to cut it up if I'm doing something like this, just because you can get, it's a mix of cuts in the stew meat, so you can get some tough stuff. So I'm going to slice it all, and then I'll put it on a sandwich. But what I'm going to do is use the gravy that really resulted from cooking this down. I'm going to add a bit of chipotle mayo and a bit of barbecue sauce, and I'm going to build it up into a sauce there. And then, so what we'll do is put the meat on, we'll put the onions on, we'll put a little bit of this mixed sauce on, and then we'll give them a light toast, and I'll show you the end product. Okay, so I've assembled the sandwiches and I've melted the cheese, because who doesn't like a toasted sandwich? And then I'm going to put on just a little bit of this sauce here. You can see it. I put it all together. A little bit of lemon juice, barbecue sauce, chipotle mayo, and the drippings from cooking the moose stew. And I guarantee it's going to be fantastic. You never waste that stuff. It's always the best thing to put on a sandwich like this. So there you go. I'm going to fold that up and give one to Tina. So I got a sandwich, garden grown carrots that I pulled just this week. That's the last of them. Of course, a couple apples are always lovely. So a bit of fruit, vegetable, and a beautiful sandwich. Look at that. It was worth the wait, I'm sure. So the sandwiches are fantastic, but would I have done that out in the field? No, of course not. That's a little fancier than something you do as a bush meal or a hiking meal, but it was kind of fun to do a little bit more of a gourmet sandwich here now that we're home. So just something that you can do, or it's just kind of an experiment that I like to do with wild game. Have some garden carrots and other things, kind of bring together a meal that is simple, because we're tired, we've been hiking all day, and still delicious.
However, it does show you how people get into trouble in the mountains, and that is, you start out with one expectation, maybe the wrong gear, and you end up in a completely different weather environment than you'd planned. And often, it's good just to turn around and do it another day. Tina and I, we were pretty well equipped. I wasn't too worried, but the snow did show up, and it did cause us trouble. Join me on my next episode where I go in search of perch. Dave's not home, man.